Hey everybody, welcome to the Vitruvian Gamer channel. My name is Kurt, and this is...
Anja!
This is...
Anja.
Anja. So, special thing happening here today. So, my sister Anja is joining us on this video. Anja will maybe be on this channel more often in the future. So we'll probably make another video in the near future to introduce her, to see who she is and
Very
what she's
special.
all about. So more of that in the future, but time was limited. Spiel is around the corner.
Yes.
And Anja will be going for the first time.
Yeah.
It will be my 8th time, I think. I'm not sure. So exciting times for everybody.
Exciting, but also a bit
scary
nervous. Yep.
And all that stuff. So, well, if you see us running around there, just say hi. But what we want to do in this video is to give you our most anticipated or most interesting games that are being released or shown for the first time at Spiel this year.
Yes.
So yeah. This is going to take a while, this video, so I think we just better dive in.
Yeah, let's get started.
And see what we have. I think we don't have any crossovers on our list, so that's pretty cool. So at least 20 games. Why at least 20 games? Because making these lists, you always have to have honorable mentions.
Every time.
You cannot just choose 10. It's just impossible. There's a list on Board Game Geek for about 1,100, 1,200
something
board
about
games,
that, yeah.
So try to pick 10 out of them, right? Okay, so Anja, do we have an honorable mention? Okay, I have to take my list here. So
I don't know if there are crossovers in the honorable mentions. Actually, I don't think there are.
I don't think there are. So
okay.
Wow. So, but I'm going to go. Well, we should go quickly over these ones.
Yeah.
But they deserve to be mentioned.
Yeah.
That's what we believe.
Okay.
So what do you have for us?
The first one that I have is a game called Discordia. It's by the designer Bernd Elsenstein, I think, and it's by the publisher Iron Games. I think it's a smaller independent publisher. I thought it was really cool because it's a tile-laying game, but also a dice-chucking game. You have variable player powers, and it kind of reminded me of... a bit of the Castles of Burgundy, with buying the tiles, laying the tiles, and then if you roll certain tiles, you get extra powers. It's kind of chaining as well. It looks really, really interesting. The reason why it's an honorable mention, because it was actually released in 2022, and I do believe it was already at Spiel last year, but it's on the list now. Okay. Maybe because there's an expansion. Okay, all right. But it looks really, really cool.
I've been intrigued by the cover for a while.
It looks cool, yeah.
I didn't know it had... Well, if it's somehow connected or like Castle of Burgundy, then I might check that out as well.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
All right. So I have one here, an honorable mention, just to make a little bit of publicity for Portal Games.
And it's a really good one, because we played
talking about Portal Games, they won't be doing demos this year, so I will be going as a visitor this year for 4 days. So that's the first time that I do that. But I have to mention their game, Imperial Miners, which is being released there.
Yeah.
Really cool, quick engine builder in the world of... Imperial Settlers. Really liking this one. It's also getting some very good reviews. And they have one more game. I'm going to add that to it as well. One more expansion for Neuroshima Hex. So there's a new expansion called Merchants Guild. This time designed by Johanna Kijanka, who does a bunch of things for Portal Games. So again, a new faction for that awesome game, Neuroshima Hex. So that's it's an honorable mention because it's just a small expansion and it's Portal Games. So I could put everything about the Portal Games in the top 10, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay, second one?
The second honorable mention. Oh, the third. Fourth.
Oh my god.
I had two.
I
cheated already.
Oh my god, no. So my second one is Tiwanaku. It's a deduction game. It really looks beautiful. It's published by Olivier Grégoire published by Sit Down, and designer is Olivier Grégoire. It looks really nice. The production quality is awesome.
Yeah, Sit Down always has beautiful games.
It looks really, really good. It has, like I said, deduction, grid movement. It's a modular board, so lots of replayability. It just really looks cool, and I'm a really big fan of deduction games.
I assume this won't be the last one that mentions deduction.
There might be other deduction games on here. And also, I do like playing solo games sometimes, especially when they are deduction games, like, for example, Search for Planet X. I really like playing it solo as well, and this has a solo version, or it can play for one person.
Always useful.
Always useful, yeah.
All right, the other one that I have is, honorable mention, is also an expansion for, you can see it right behind Anja. For War of the Ring, the card game, there is this expansion called Against the Shadow, which, it's not that easy to get this game to the table. What does this expansion brings? Solo and co-op mode.
Ooh.
So that's great. Great team, a bunch of new cards, and solo and cooperative mode. That's and this one is an honorable mention because I already pre-ordered and paid this fellow, so that will be going home with me.
Nice. So my last one is a game called Falbara. It looks just beautiful. I like the artwork. Cover, yeah. I think it's like, is it like Vikings or something like that? I don't really know.
By the name of it, it sounds Vikingish.
Vikingish, yes, it does.
It's a word.
It is a word. We just made it up. Ish. It's by the designer Olivier St-Pierre and publisher Studio H. Looks just lovely. And the interesting thing about this one is that it actually gets compared to Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest. Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest, or the normal Libertalia, is a pretty large game, and this one is like just a card game, but it has some, it get compared, and it has simultaneous action selection. It has like everyone has the same deck with 12 different characters that has different abilities. So I think this one is really, really cool. It looks really cool. Reason why it's an honorable mention, just like Tiwanaku.
2022.
Yeah, 2022. I don't know if it was there last year. Yes, I know.
I'll definitely follow you to that booth to check that out as well. Sounds interesting. I have 3 more. So it's,
damn you!
I'm going to take the stage. So there is this game called Pyramidize. Which is, I'm not sure if I'm a really fan of the title, but it's about it's from Luigi Ferrini, and I think it's Ares Games that will have it. Ares Games that will have that Spiel.
Okay.
This is just a pyramid building game, and it looks interesting. There is not that much to know known about it yet, but I like Egyptian theme most of the time, and. This is cool. You're building pyramids with dice, and it looks pretty neat and really upwards. So, but it wasn't on their pre-order site, so I'm not 100% sure if it will be there.
Oh, okay.
Although it's on the Board Game Geek list, so I am not completely sure. That's why it's on my honorable mentions. Okay. Then we have a De Veer game. Be prepared for De Veer games.
Yeah.
This one is a lighter game, I think. It's called Severnik Forest.
Looks pretty.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's by Rodrigo Rigo. And it why it's an honorable mention, why it didn't make the top 10, it might be very light. It might be a very light game. It reminded me, what I was reading, a little bit of the mechanism of Cascadia.
Nice.
You're drafting these cards with these tiles that you make roads with in your forest, but it has the same idea. If you take that one, then you get that extra action, so it's linked to another thing. Okay. So with Cascadia you have the animal and the tile, and this one has the resource and the tile, so it's a little bit like that. Nice. But it looks pretty neat, and I do like those light games. It's only a 1.38 on Board Game Geek, so it's a really light game.
It looks beautiful though.
But it's
just
pretty cool.
Fall starting, and it looks really.
Yeah, it has cute
autumn
artwork, and you make a 4x4 grid with these tiles, and it looks pretty neat. And it's not. It was very cheap as well. It's only €15, so that's.
The Veer game prices their game cool. Like games really competitive. I have to admit, they're really good at it. Yeah.
And they managed to put a lot of game in small boxes.
Love it.
Cool. So last honorable mention is a demo. So I normally don't do demos, but this is a special one. This is a new upcoming game by Stefan Feld. It's called, again, not the best title, it's called Sivolution. Now, this... there is not that much known about this game yet. Apparently that it is kind of... it has some 4X stuff. Which... and it is probably his most heavy game ever. But it does have dice rolling or dice selection and all that stuff, the randomness as well. It has a bunch of different resources, I think 18 different resources and all that stuff. But it might be too heavy, but it is Stefan Feld.
But Stefan Feld is really good in making his heavier games. Like, it's heavy on strategy. But like the rules mostly are pretty logical.
This might be something really different, but we'll see what he does with this. And I'm really, really curious about this. It's by Deep Print Games, also not that big of a company, so not with Queen Games for once. So they did though Beer and Bread and Renature, so they have Savannah Park, Corrosion, so they have.
It's a bigger publisher than I thought.
Quite a good track record. I didn't realize. Wow. All right. So
nice.
Alright, so that's the honorable mentions. We already took
I have no idea.
Quite some time. But now let's go to our real top 10s.
Okay.
So what's your number
10?
10.
Okay. So my number 10 is called Dracula versus Van Helsing. It's by Maxine Rambourg and Theo Rivière. And the publisher is Mando Games. The reason why this is on the list is because I have Jekyll versus Hyde from Mando Games. Okay, there might be another one from Mando Games coming up later, but that's okay. And it looks really cool. It's a 2-player game, so 1v1, and one person is playing Dracula, and guess what? He wants to turn people into vampires. Weird, right? I've never heard of that before.
Keeps on doing that.
Crazy stuff. And then it's Dracula versus Van Helsing, and Van Helsing obviously wants to get rid of Dracula, and it's kind of
they just don't get along.
They just don't get along. They're not friends.
No.
Sad. It's kind of trick taking a bit. So you have like 5 tiles, and the other one has 5 tiles, and they so one tile represents a district, and there are 4 people or villagers in the district, and if you win the combat or the trick for that district and you're Dracula, you will turn one into a vampire. If Van Helsing wins, the Dracula loses 1 health.
Okay.
And it's really cool because you take 1 tile and you can swap with the cards or the tiles that you have in front of you. If you discard a tile, you get that special action of the tile. So it's from 1 to 8, and the higher the number, the better the action that you can take. But do you want to sacrifice that high number because you could win the trick or the... So it looks really cool. It's really beautiful art as well.
Yeah, it's nice. Cool aesthetics.
Yeah, it looks nice. I like it. Right. Excited.
My number 10 is... Oh, this is very special. So this year I went for a bunch of... I looked into... I read a lot of things like, what is this? Well, this... I wanted to know everything. So I have some games that might fly under the radar, and this one is one from WizKids. And the designer Jordan Sorensen. Now, WizKids has this crazy track record of being either really great or maybe too special. And this one might be the second category. This game is called Unboxed. So, now, strangely enough, this is also kind of a deduction game.
Ooh,
so
I
what
like it
happens
already.
in this game? And I have no idea how this works, but so... in Unboxed, you and your friends take on the role of archaeology interns.
Okay.
And at the dig site, the team has uncovered 10 caches of ancient board games.
Oh, that's cool.
And now they need our help to figure out how those board games were being played. So we have to find out what the rules were of those games.
That's really cool.
And the centuries have not been kind to the rulebooks, so you'll have to infer the rules based on each game's symbology, components, and our own experience and intuition.
Okay.
So super special. It's a 1 to 4 player game, so you can also solo this one.
That's nice.
And I have no idea what this is going to be, but it sounds super intriguing and special and unique. So that's why it's made my number 10.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. My number 9 then?
9.
My number 9, Well. It's a game from the publisher, De Veer. It's not going to be the last one.
It's not going to be the last one.
Spoiler. Yeah. It's not going to be the last one. And this one is by Germain P. Milan, and it's called Bamboo. Bamboo just looks freaking awesome. Yeah. It's really...
It was I think it's, a lot of these games that you're mentioning are my top 20, so they were very close.
Yeah, it looks really nice. So you're actually taking on a clan or like a family, and we're going to go bamboo, and we're going to use fruits, and we want to take care of our family or clan, and we want to be, I think we want the most happiness points. I think I like that, instead of being happiness like points. Victory points or whatever. I'm like happiness points. Yeah. I like it. It's played over 4 years. You have this really nice like incense kind of mechanism. It looks really cool. I don't know quite a lot about it, I'm not gonna lie. It has action drafting, it has tile placement, and I heard that it, like most of the De Veer games, it packs a lot of game into a small box.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
It really intrigues me. Cool. Yeah,
that's cool. Yep.
Yeah.
Bamboo. All right, my next game is also a game from De Veer. And it's one that's not on Anja's list.
It is
I'm
not.
Pretty sure.
It
so
is
not. I went for a special one. This is a small game again, also light game, 1.5 on Board Game Geek. It's by Andrew Roy. I think Andrew Roy the second, because there is
the second.
Yeah, the
that's
second.
Cool.
I wish I had the name like that. And publisher De Veer. Now I'm going to mention the artist as well. The artist is Carlos Ureta, because the artwork on this game is so endearing. It's so cool. It's like this 90, I don't know which.
It kind of looks like.
It's like those commercial
things. Especially like the wiener.
I will have to add a picture to the screen now. The wiener. The hot dog.
Yeah.
So this is a game where it's quite quirky. So where you are going to have, I think, 4 cards in your hand. Mm-hmm. But you know which cards you have, but you shuffle them and then you place them face to the other players, so you don't know which card is. So you do know what you have, but you don't know where it's placed.
Okay.
And in your turn, you point to a card from another player. You tap it, and mentioning that you want to have that card for it to put in your tableau.
Okay.
And they can either accept it,
okay,
or they can refuse it. If they refuse it, they place the card in their tableau themselves.
Okay.
And you get to take one of the other 3 cards from their hand. If they accept it, you get that card, and they get to choose one card. They get to point at one of your cards, and you can accept or deny a whole bunch of stuff. So
is it like a kind of a bluffing?
It's some bluffing, some it mentions negotiation. I'm not sure if there's a lot of negotiating going on, but it's a bit of bluffing, and especially set collection. You're trying to get a set.
Okay.
Of there are a bunch of colors. I think 4 different colors. You want to have consecutive numbers in your set of a color, or you want to have, I think, 5 from one color, and then you win immediately. So there is
sudden death.
This is ways of beating the other player. So
nice.
It's light, but still, I think it's a fun game that adds a lot of table talk and
for
all
how
that
many
stuff.
Players? 2 to 5.
It's 2 to 5 players. So
okay.
yeah, that's blind business. The theme is, by the way, that you're trying to hit a piñata.
What? Okay. There we go.
My number 9.
Okay.
Or was it 8 already? 8.
It was 9 because I think I started.
Yeah,
okay. That's okay. My number 8 is the next one from Mando Games, and it is called Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard.
I think
there's a theme going on here, people.
Has this deduction now because it has Scotland Yard?
No, it does not. The designers are Gaëtan Bojanot, Olivier Sipierre. That's the second time that I'm mentioning his name. I think the Dracula versus Van Helsing was the same one.
Make a lot of money this year.
No, yeah, because I said what the hell. And Gionil is the other one, and the artist is Vincent Dutray. It looks beautiful.
He has a bunch of games this year.
It does, yeah, but he.
Yeah, like, there's one game that's was very close to my honorable mentions. The Arts Project, I think.
Ah, yeah.
ART Project.
Yeah, looks really cool. But in Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard, so like I mentioned, they came out with Jekyll versus Hyde, which is a trick-taking game with like a nice little twist to it. And this one is actually like the spiritual successor of it. So the art is pretty similar to the other one. Production quality from Jekyll and Hyde was like beautiful. It had like the miniature, like the metal miniature. But this one is a cooperative trick-taking game.
Ooh. Me like that idea.
Yeah. So your infamous Mr. Hyde is being hunted, obviously, by Scotland Yard for the many misdeeds committed in the city of London. And your objective, yet again, in Jekyll versus Hyde, that's the same, is to maintain the balance in the duality of your personality while staying ahead of Scotland Yard's investigation. Right. I like it. It's cooperative. It has scenario, mission, campaign kind of thingy.
Like the crew stuff.
I love it.
That's neat.
Yeah.
How many players?
Two.
It's two players. Two-player trick-taking game. That's also a little bit special. So, and then cooperative. That's cool.
I think it looks cool.
Yeah. My next one is called Time Division.
That was
by Alexander Schreiber. And Heidelberg Games is going to release that. And I have no idea what this game is about. No, it's really it's the cover attracts me somehow. The cards, it's about all these things in time. You have
animal cards.
The Priestess of Basset. I see here the shepherd, the play doctor, taxi driver, even, and they're all anthropomorphic animal pictures apparently. And I just cannot. I've seen a review of it, or I read a review of it, and I still don't know what it's about. So you have three eras. You have Ancient Egypt, the Dark Ages, and the 80s. Mm-hmm. So very widespread, and you can play. You can choose to play one era or a campaign of 3 eras.
Nice.
And you try to win control over an era to get the most influential characters. And I have no idea how you do it. It's by drafting, so that's cool. I like drafting.
Nice, yeah.
Deck construction, it says. But I have no idea how this works. You play 6 rounds. That's it.
Cool.
It's a 2-player game as well, so that's pretty neat. And the player with the highest influence. So each round, players play 1 card each, and the player with the highest card decides over the 2 played cards, which will be triggered by their player for its effect, and which one is moved to the influence area. So that's how it works. But I have no idea how. I really want to see it. It looks cool, and somehow it intrigues me.
Yeah, I saw this one as well, and the art is really, really nice, because I think it was on my interested list.
Yeah.
But just because I didn't really know that much about it, I was like, I don't know.
It says 20 to 60 minutes, so if one era would take about 20 minutes. So it's a quick game, which I like in these times, being a father of a young daughter. Just 6 turns, just 1 card each turn, just 1 decision, but no 2 games are ever alike. That sounds
great.
Like a number 8. There we go.
So that's my number 7. It's going to be this one. It's called Station Fall. It has space monkeys. Like, honestly, they're space monkeys.
Space monkeys.
Space monkeys. I mean, designer is Matt Eklund, and it's published by Iron Game Design. It looks cool.
Iron AZ. I think they have some heavier games, and this is a heavy one as well.
It's a heavy one. It's really it. So I kind of was like, am I going to put this one on the list here? Yes or no? But I saw a review of it from a YouTube channel, which is called, I think it's called Board Game Bollocks.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I really like it.
It's special, but yeah.
He swears a lot, but I love it.
Yeah.
He speaks my language. And he was like, it's a beep to teach, but once you know the rules, it's really, really good. It's a deduction game. It has hidden roles, but I'm not liking anything about
besides Space Monkeys so far.
Normally, I would be exactly the same. I would be like, oh no, I don't like hidden rules and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's not my favorite. But this one is really cool because nobody knows who the other one is, but all the character cards are actually placed in the middle of the table, and you can play as every person on the table. Okay. And there are people that are your co-players, but there are people that are just neutral characters, and it looks really cool. I liked the review that I saw of it. I don't know if I'm really gonna like it, but it looks very intriguing. I want to see it and I want to play it once.
It's a great way to see going to Spiel and check it out.
Yeah,
definitely a good idea. All right, my next one. First, it didn't make my top 10, but slowly but surely it started to grab a hold on me. And it's a game by Sachi and Sachi, which is I think a Japanese publisher. They tend to make very decent games.
Did they make photographs?
Wind the picture or photograph, wind the film, or and this game is called Come Sail Away, a 1 to 4 player game by Daryl Chow and Sashi. And the cool thing about this Sashi and Sashi, they have this special art style that they always use. And so I will mention Takako Takarai as an artist. And in this game, you are, I think, this company, like the company from the Titanic, and you're trying to get customers or passengers onto your ship, and you're trying to get them into rooms, and the rooms they want for bonus points, and they have to have a place for their luggage and all that stuff. Nice. And it works with closed drafting and Mancala.
And a modular
so
board.
The Mancala stuff, I'm so bad at Mancala, but it still intrigues. I like, for example, the Trajan, the big Stefan Feld game. The action selection is with Mancala. I'm not good at it, but I still like it, and it looks cool. This game, it's like this artwork is so.
It's simple, but
in a way it's minimalistic.
Yeah.
In a way, but there's still a lot going on.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty. I'm still curious how the Mancala works. I think the track on your ship, or the rooms on your ship, work as a Mancala, and you will be moving the passengers around and dropping them along the way, I think. But it looks pretty neat, and I'm really curious. There will not be a lot of copies, I've already heard. So this one will be might be difficult to get, but
we'll try. We'll see.
We'll see. So
every time when I see the "Come Sail Away," I have to think about the songs. Come sail away, come sail away.
I always think about "Come Fly Away." Fly away, but it's
that's different. So, they can do a space team one. There we go.
That's my number 7.
I just want to say one more thing about Stationfall, the monkey game. Just that it's a 1 to 9 player game.
I just...
And that's interesting to me as well, because I play some games with some colleagues of mine, and we're always like with a really big group, and it's not really easy to find games that...
But hopefully they can manage to have the weight of the game.
Yeah, we'll see. But we'll see. We can always try. Anywho, that was 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Number 6 now.
Number 6. Well. This is a publisher that we heard of before. It's from The Veer. The designers are Remo Canzadori and Fabio Lopiano. I think they made like other games for The Veer that are really interesting as well. The artwork just looks
this is
beautiful. By the way, it's 3 Ring Circus.
3 Ring Circus.
Might be interesting to know the name of the game, 3 Ring Circus. So it's about you're going to hire artists and you're going to offer performances to become the most famous circus in the USA. Oh, it's in the US.
Yeah.
Let's make a European one. No, that's okay.
Who knows? Next year.
Who knows? I really like the team. I really like the artwork. It has area majority, influence, hand management, movement points, point-to-point movements. I don't know a lot about it. It looks really nice.
I've heard a bunch of reviews already, and the consensus is that it's a good game. So,
yeah, I heard one as well, and especially because the designers are quite... it's not the first game that they make, and the other ones that they made are, I think, also very successful. It looks nice. I'm really looking forward to trying this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a big hit.
I think so too. I think the booth from
the Veer
is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So I do hope that they bring a lot of copies, so I can. Yeah, we'll see.
I assume they know that they're going to be have a great spiel.
Yeah.
My number 6 is, I think, the last really quirky one or less known one of this list. It's called 1902 Méliès or something like that. I have no idea how to pronounce it. It's French, so you might have to pronounce the 1902 in French as well. It's by Eloy Puyadas and Ferran Renalas. and by Looping Games. And this game, it's about George Méliès, who is called the Wizard of Cinema. So he is the guy that made the movie A Trip to the Moon, which, as you can see on the cover, it's the famous one where the rocket hits the eye of the moon.
Okay.
So it is movie history. It's from 1902, so it's
you
crazy.
Do like that.
I like the movie theme a lot. Yeah. So it always interests me if I see this small band of a movie reel. Then I'm already interested in the game. And this is a kind of a worker placement game. Where you can get new scenes to record, where you can get new materials for special effects, but it's all in that ancient time of film, so that's pretty cool. You can record scenes, you can cut and paste, and I guess you try to make the best movie. It was also the time where the first time they worked with color, I think, and so you can also and they did it. It's really historical. They had, I think, about 20 women who painted the pictures. And in this game you can also do the painting of the photographs, photograms that you're using. So really cool team, special aesthetics to get that old vibe to it. So that's
is that the box?
The one that I show you is the box cover.
Okay, I think it's gonna sound rude, but I think I kind of skipped that one. Just because of the box art? Because of the box art,
yeah. It gives you the vibe of the time, but it's, I'm not sure about the aesthetics of the game totally.
No, they look better. If you look at the game, I think, it looks actually really cool.
Yeah, but I'm really curious to see how this plays. Yeah. That's my number 6.
Nice. My number 5
is... a close one for me as well.
Yeah, okay. It's called Draft and Write Records. It's a 1 to 6 player, 1 to 6 player game from the designer Bruno Maciel, and it's published by Inside Up Games. This is the verb and write kind of thingy majiggy, like you have the roll and write and the flip and write, but this is the draft and write, so it has a drafting mechanism. It looks really cool. It's a 30 to 60 minute game. The box art was a bit like, I don't know, but then I read the and I saw the mechanisms and I was like, intriguing. I kind of like it, and I do like my roll and writes of my verb and writes, and apparently this has a lot of like chain reactions going on there, which my favorite one is Three Sisters, by the way.
There are a bunch of parts on the board that you can only write on if you do something else, so you have to do the chain of the event. I like the theme of this one.
I do like the theme as well, because I heard, like, I don't know if it's true, yes or no, but like the music theme doesn't really work super well, or isn't that like super, how do you say it? I can I don't know the wording, but anyway, it's not that popular apparently. But I do like music, and I'm really interested in how this one is gonna work.
This was a Kickstarter.
It was?
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter. Now they're getting their normal release. I backed it for €1 at the time, and I didn't get it in the end, but looks pretty cool.
I think like the cards and the artwork in the actual game do look really, really cool. I really like it. It does look really colorful. I really like it, and like I said, I do like roll and writes or verb and writes. And this one is special because I haven't heard of a draft and write yet. So looking forward to this one.
Looking good. My next one is an expansion, and it's probably one of the most popular expansions that will be released at Spiel. And this is the one for Cascadia. It's called Cascadia Landmarks. Cascadia, as most people know, is where you play tiles and put animals on the tiles and try to make certain patterns with those animals. And that way you score points. This one... I don't know what this adds, to be honest.
Landmarks.
Probably it has a landmarks module, more unique wildlife scoring cards, and habitat tiles to add to the variety, and also enough to add it to make it a 5 and 6 player game as well. So
I didn't know that one. That's really interesting.
I've seen pictures of new cards that add something to it, so I think it gives you smaller objectives. It looks like it also adds some wooden components of water and mountains and all that stuff. So it's just
It's Cascadia.
It's Cascadia. It adds a little bit more, not too much, I believe, and that's why I like the idea of this expansion.
I do too. I think it's gonna add more of the same, but just not the same, but it's not gonna change the game that much. And I really, really like it. I actually pre-ordered this one, so it's not on my own.
It's, of course, it's by the artist. The artist Betsobel again.
Beautiful.
And, there you go. It has a bunch of designers: Randy Flynn, Molly Johnson, Robert Melvin, and Sean Stankiewicz.
Nice.
Flat Out Games. That's my number 5.
It looks really good. Yeah, like when it first I could pre-order from our online. I was like, yeah, I want it.
Yeah.
Didn't think twice about it. I really like it, and it's a really nice one to play solo as well.
Indeed.
Just so you know.
Indeed.
Is it number 4 already? I think it is.
Number 4 already.
And number 4 is a game called Rats of Wistar. It's a game designed by Simone Luciani and Danilo Sabia and published by Cranio Creations.
Cranio Creations. That's a big pedigree. That's big names. Yeah,
the designers as well. We have Soul King, Grand Austria Hotel, Lorenzo and Magnifico, Newton, Barrage, Tilatum, Doris Journey. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So it's from those publishers, designers, and it's a 1 to 4 player game. Yet again. I like it. It looks really cool. It's about these really intelligent rats who are going to escape the famous Wistar Institute. It's a worker placement variable setup, and it has events. It's 5 rounds. It's equal to the 5 days in which the challenge takes place. It just really looks really, really good, and I think it has a lot of interesting decisions. You can build beds, you can excavate rooms, you can do missions, you can welcome host mice if you want. You can build new inventions, you can claim achievements, and sometimes you have to battle other animals. And like one is a chicken. It's kind of funny.
Battle a chicken.
Battle a chicken. It looks really good, and like you said, the pedigree or the designers, they've done some really cool things, and I've heard nice things about it. The weight is okay, I think, for those
it's not
designers.
As high as probably a lot of other ones of them.
So it's a 2.75. It's not low.
It's not low, but
I think it's gonna be okay, and it looks really cute.
It has great artwork, so it looks cool. It's one that flew under the radar for me a little bit until I heard some reviews about it as well, and I didn't add it to my top 10 lists because it was a little bit too late to do so. But yeah, I think this is going to be a big hit at Spiel. A big one. This is going to be crazy. So, yeah, I understand this choice. It looks great. Awesome designers. Really, really awesome designers.
That's my number 4.
Pretty cool. My number 4 is a spin-off of a very, very popular game. Also one of my favorite games. That's called Orléans. And this game is called The Cathedral of Leon.
Yeah, I saw that one. Interesting.
Yeah, so as far as I can see the pictures, it is like a small version of Orléans a little bit, but also of the cooperative version. So it's cooperative. It takes about 30 minutes to play, so again a shorter game, which I really like, and because there's so much for Orléans at this moment in time that it takes so much time to set up the game. So if I can get that same feeling kind of in 30 minutes with a smaller game, with the back building that we know from Orléans, and then I'm really interested. And I know the expansion for Orléans that brings also cooperative gameplay to it also is very good. So this being co-op as well does sound pretty good. I think it is way lighter than Orléans itself, but I don't mind that at this moment. It looks cool. It is, and it has the feel of the game that I really like. So this one is also one that I think a couple of days ago I pre-ordered.
Ah, nice.
It was also pretty. It was €25, which is also
for a standalone game. That's not bad.
Game, and it comes with a cardboard cathedral that you built. So I don't know if that's necessary, but yeah, it looks really like they shrunk Orléans and made a new game of it. So
nice.
Curious about this one. That's my number 4.
It looks good. So my number 3, it's a deduction game.
Of course.
Surprise! It's called Archaeologic. It's a 1 to 4 player game. Yet again, like I always kind of look for the 1 player option if it's a possibility. It is a competitive deduction game whose goal it is to first find the exact location of the buildings of the city. Now, I was like, well, this sounds familiar. We have Search for Planet X. So I don't really know anything else about it. You have like it's called an archaeoscope. It's the only research instrument capable of reading the coded cards left by the ancients, and you can ask it.
If I'm not mistaken, it's one of the designers, or the designer is the same designer, I think, that made Turing Machine.
That was this one.
That gives you a clue about what you can expect from this game. It also has this strange device that gives you options, or it gives you clues or whatever.
The designer is indeed Johan Levitt, and I do think he did Turing Machine
designer. So if you like that idea, and maybe there is a little bit more game into this, so that might be very interesting to check out.
Turing Machine is just like, it's a puzzle, period. A really nice one. I really like it. Cool, I have the physical copy of Turing Machine, which I really enjoyed playing, but they have it on BGA now, which is really it's so fast. A daily challenge. I really like that one. So Archaeologic seems really interesting. The publisher is Ludonaut, so I'm really gonna check that one out. Like you said, I think if it's gonna be Turing Machine, but more like more of a game instead of just a puzzle, I'm really gonna like this one then. So Archaeologic, my number 3.
So my number 3 is a small cheat.
What?
I'm cheating because it's 2 expansions for the same game. I think one was already released. Could already order it through the site of Keen Bean Studio.
Keen Bean Studio.
But there's a new one now being released at Spiel, so I'm going to mention both. It's the story packs, 2 story packs for Roll Camera, another movie themed game where you cooperatively try to make a good movie. And you have these story packs that the designer Malachi Ray Rempen, and apparently now we have a co-designer, John Velgus. They make the story packs that adds a theme to the game, so you can play this standalone, like a small story that gives some extra stuff to it. So normally you just try to make a movie, but now you have the murder mystery pack and the Christmas movie pack.
Cool.
And in the Christmas movie, because you're filming during the holidays, you want to make your crew happy, to give them the holiday spirit. That's something you try to do during that scenario. And the murder mystery, you're doing some kind of deduction thing.
I like it.
Because the screenwriter has been murdered. So whilst making that movie, you still have to make a movie in the game. You're trying to, I guess, deduce who killed the screenwriter. So it adds some more twists to an already cool game. You can just also add all the movie cards, all the scenario cards into the deck of cards, and you play with those in a normal game. But you can also, as I said, and the first one that was with superheroes, so I already have that one. It was also cool. It gives just a different twist to the game. And now there's 2 more, so I'm definitely picking those up. They're not expensive, and they add just some more stuff to an already really fun game with a great theme. So Roll Camera, the story packs, Christmas movie, and murder mystery.
I like the murder mystery one. I like murder mysteries. Yeah, I'm one of those people who watches Columbo and Murder, She Wrote still. So
every single day.
That's not true, but quite a lot. So my number 2 is a card game. I do like card games. And it's called Forest Shuffle. It's a 2 to 5 player game. The designer is Kosh. It's the same designer of 5. F-Y-F-E? 5? 5? Not 5, but 5. You're gonna... If you see the cover, you're gonna...
Okay.
And it's from the publisher Lookout Games. Why I chose this one? First of all, it looks freaking cute. It has this really nice nature theme and a little fox on the cover. I really like it. But it has multi-use cards, which I always like. So the cards are split in half. So you have the bottom half, or upper half, and then left or right, and you can choose which one that you want to choose. It's a tableau builder, and which I really like is that you have to pay a cost to be able to play a card, and the cost is discarding cards.
Yeah.
And it's the same like one of my favorite games, Race for the Galaxy. Yeah, it has the same mechanism.
It gets compared to it quite a bit. Yeah,
I think it's more not approachable, but
it's easier to play. I guess it's easier.
So,
it's
yeah.
not as convoluted or complicated as It's
the symbology of Race for the Galaxy
probably,
is a bit.
Yeah, I think graphic design is better, easier to play with.
But if you know the symbols, Race for the Galaxy
True.
just plays like super smooth. But this looks really cool, and the cool thing about, like in Race for the Galaxy, you have to discard cards to enable to build cards. Okay, that's cool. But here it goes into a shared market. Yeah. So it kind of gives you like, when am I going to do that? Because if I put it in the market, that means someone else can take the cards. And do I want them to have the cards if I know what they're kind of going for in their tableau? And it gives you an extra, like, I'm going to do it now because I'm going to put the 10th or the 11th card in the market, and then it just clears the entire market. So I kind of like that extra strategy or decision that you can make. It looks really cool. It looks beautiful.
This is going to be one of the top games as well at Spiel. It's not on my list, partly because I knew it was going to be on yours. I didn't want to have the crossover. But on the other hand, I'm pretty sure this will be a great game, but there are a few things that makes it less interesting for me. Is the theme. I'm starting to get worn out on nature theme games. It's just so popular at this moment, and there's so many games coming out with a nature theme that I'm like, I cannot see any more trees. Slowly but surely. And I do not really like games where you have to put cards underneath cards.
Yeah, the fiddliness.
It can be so fiddly.
Yeah.
So that's the two reasons. On the other hand, all reviews are superb, and this is probably a game that I really like. So I hope you buy it so I can play it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I just like the multi-use cards, and I think I'm gonna like this one. But you do have a point, like the fiddliness of putting cards underneath cards.
In a lot of games, I just hate it.
But I think you can just, because you have a tree and you're putting like animals, so I think you could just do like, boop, pick up a tree, put it.
Yep.
Maybe that's going to be okay.
You have cards on top and on the sides.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But
I'm interested
I think
in
the game itself is probably very good, very good.
Okay, so your number 2.
My number 2 is a standalone game. It's you can play it standalone, or you can mix it with the first box that was released last year, and after being released, also won the Kennerspiel des Jahres. So it has something going on for it. Mm-hmm. It's right behind me here. Challengers. There is Challengers Beach Cup, the second one. So you can play this standalone. You can also just use the cards with the other cards and mix them. So Challengers, if you don't know it, Challenge is this really unique concept where every player starts with the same cards. And you're just playing Capture the Flag. And Capture Flag, I mean, you sit across each other. So there is this randomizer. Well, it's cards that tell you where to sit, which match you play, because you kind of play a tournament. And in your turn, you just flip over the top card of your deck. So you shuffle it, and you flip over the top card of your deck, and you have to beat the top card of the other player. And if you do, then you grab the flag, and then it's the other player who does the same. So it sounds super random and super luck based, but after each game you play or each match you play, you are going to get to buy or take new cards. So you draw 5 new cards and you get to keep 2 of them, and so that way you're trying to make synergies and combinations to make your deck the strongest one. So at the beginning of the tournament, it's a little bit luck based, but as the tournament continues, every deck starts to be different and has different ways to try to beat the other players, and it's super fun. Every time that I explain this game, people think like, what is this? It sounds so stupid. And after the tournament is done, everybody said, wow, this is really unique, really special. New cards, more combinations. This is my number 2. I really, really like the game. There are some cool themes in this one.
It's like the beach.
Yeah, the beach. There was the sea. There was beach. Let's see if I can see it. The beach club, the fairy tale forest, the rainbows, which are wild. So it's the wild color. The university, secret base, and mountain top. Themed games. And there's also now a solo mode included. Oh, I think there was a solo mode already in the first one. I have not tried that one, but there is an option. And 4 new play mats that you can play with. 4 new colors, so that's pretty cool.
It's really cool. You can play from 1 to 8, but you always play like 1v1.
Yeah. And then now you can do a giga tournament for 1 to 16 players.
Oh my god, that
with
sounds
the 2 boxes.
just long.
It sounds long, but it might still work, I believe. So this is an awesome game.
It's really cool that you can play it up to 8, and it's like really short games that you play, and then you just play someone else,
and then you switch seats and you play another one, and then
it's really cool.
And then the 2 players with the most fans at the end of the tournament, they play one big grand finale to see who's the winner. It's really fun. It's really cool.
It feels like it's very light, but there's like more strategy.
So there's been a lot of thing going on, but should this have been a Kenner Spiel nominee and winner? I understand the doubts about it. It is light, but it is also not light, as in there is so many options in the deck building. It's not for everyone. Not everyone will see the possibilities in at the beginning. So I'm not sure, but it is really fun. Yeah, that's my number 2.
And then now for
the number one.
Well, it's a publisher that we've seen already, and that is De Veer.
De Veer!
Yay! It's back again, and this one is kind of a successor of the Red Cathedral.
Same designers as well. Same designers. Some of the same ideas.
Yeah. It's funny. It's always shortened the name Isra C and Shay S. And it's a worker placement, but like with dice workers. And the cool thing about this one is that you only have 9 turns. So in the entire game, you're gonna choose and place 9 dice. Yeah, and that's it. So I heard that it's, because I've seen some reviews on this already, that it's like really tight, and it's really comborific or combotastic. So you take 1 die and you kind of, with 1 die, then I can do this action. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It looks great. I really like the Red Cathedral, but that has more like the
I think it's the same size box of the Red Cathedral, so it's not a big box.
No.
But if you see the pictures of the game,
it's huge
on the table. It's like
it's a Euro game.
Do they use a TARDIS way of putting stuff in a small box? Because there's a lot of stuff in that box.
There is a lot of stuff.
It looks cool. Also the cover looks great. It has the castle there. It has a name. I think it's an existing building. I think in Japan there's just a new Lego set being released with that of that castle, which also looks pretty cool. Yeah. So, but it has a great table presence, and its dice placement. I really like dice placement. Yeah. This one was probably my number 11, I guess. But
and a really cool thing is the dice are like on bridges. Yeah. And you can only
3D bridges, so it's really cardboard bridges.
Yeah. And you can choose like the one on the left or the right, and they're on the bridge as well. And if you take one, that means like the other one slides off. So that means that you're going to give your opponent the opportunity to take that one. So you're kind of like, when am I going to do this or not? And just like 9 dice, and that's the entire game.
That's awesome.
And like I said, and like you said as well, the Veer game, small box, big games.
Looks like I'm playing a lot of the Veer games.
Possibly.
Not owned by me. Although this one, it looks... why it's not on my list is because I own the Red Cathedral. I only played it once, a 2-player game, and since then I've been trying to get it played with more players. So 2 players was not that awesome, I think, but I can see that it will be a great 4-player game or 3-player game.
Yeah.
So I'm still on the fence of how good I think Red Cathedral is. So, but I'm pretty sure it's really good, and I think this sounds great. So it's
the Red Cathedral is fun because you can play it solo as well, and you can play it like it's against a dude called Ivan that you play. And Ivan is really good. Not gonna lie, he's really, really good. I only played the Red Cathedral solo, and I do want to play it multiplayers.
We keep on trying.
Indeed. So this one also has like a 1-player variant.
Yeah.
Maybe you play an AI or an Ivan type person.
Ivanhoe.
Ivan. The castle is Himeji Castle.
Yeah, that's the one.
So we're looking forward to that. I think
this as we already said a couple of times, the VR games is going nuts. It's bananas. It's the games they are releasing this year. It's like what?
And like I said, the prices of the games. I think this is like 30 euros.
I wonder if you can buy stocks.
What stocks? What's that?
On the market, if you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Because I think they will go
up.
Yeah, they're going to go high.
Yeah.
Talking about going high. Oh, segue.
Nice.
Finally, a segue. My number one is a game. I think it's already available in the United States, but it will be now in Europe as well. Mm-hmm. This is a 2-player game. So 2 players only, in which you're trying to land a plane, it's called Sky Team. It's by designer Luc Raymond and publisher Le Scorpion Masqué.
Yeah.
And it has an English publisher, Hachette. Yeah, Hachette. So there will be having Sky Team, and this is also dice placement.
Yeah.
So you will be rolling dice behind your screen, and you're going to place them one by one. So I think you have to alternate in placing one die on the board, which depicts your all the tiny buttons and all the stuff on the cockpit of an airplane, and you're trying to keep the plane in balance. You're doing the flaps and all that stuff, the speed, to get the plane landed in a decent way and not die. And this sounds so cool. I think it has limited communication, so you cannot tell what dice you have. So you're just trying to figure out how to get that balance in all those aspects to land the plane. Now, apparently the base scenario is quite simple, but then you have a bunch of stuff in the box that gives you kind of small scenarios, different runways to land on, different situations that makes it harder and harder. So it gives you a cool challenge that evolves all the time. And I think this team is just so special and unique. Trying to land a plane, and the co-pilot in a 2-player co-op game. This is absolutely my number one. It is not a heavy game. It's a short game again, so my list is filled with short games. It's 15 minutes for one scenario. I guess this is a game that you play it once and twice and 3 times.
Especially if you can't land the plane, you're like...
Especially, let's try this again.
Let's do this again.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this one. This is, for me, my number one must-have.
I like the fact that it's cooperative, but sometimes when you're playing co-op, you might have an alpha player or the alpha gamer, but because it's limited information you
have
can't
to do your own
play.
Stuff and try to figure out how to do it together without so
I like the limit,
which is the only thing that's not really thematic in this game.
I can't
because
talk to
you're
you.
sitting next to each other in the cockpit, but you cannot speak. So something happened, I guess. So you're but
troubles.
But besides that, it looks so cool and thematic and really fun. So this is absolutely my number one must-have game.
There we go.
20 games. 20 games plus a bunch of
honorable
mentions, and we could have done so much more. So many more.
Stonemeyer games with the apiary, just because
apiary, it's not on our
beautiful
list. It looks awesome. There is the new expansion for Lost Ruins of Arnak coming. What else do I have here? The Cosmoctopus. Oh, the big one. I wonder why you didn't put...
I saw that one.
I was expecting Evacuation on Anya's list, which is the new Vladimir Suchy game.
Yeah.
It is space. It
looks... like space.
I think that's going to be sold out. My words, is going to be a day one sold out game. There's a new Reiner Knizia game called Sunrise Lane, which barely made my list. It just didn't make my list, but that looks so fun, especially after playing Millefiore.
That's a really
I think
good
this
one.
has some of the feeling of that. This is my pre-order for Leon. Oh man, there was Sagrada, the Artisans, that one, Books of Time, that from Board and Dice. I played the demo of that one last year. I want to see more of it.
Fit to Print.
Fit to Print is also now available to get.
Real time, really cute, beautiful game.
Yeah.
Western Legends.
Western Legends, the Showdown 2-player game in the team of Western Legends, the big game, but now there's a small card game for it. There's a new expansion for Mindbug going. So there's so many cool things that we want to check out. So
too much.
So we are going to Spiel. Anja is going to Spiel for the first time. We will be joined by Simos, a good friend of mine, and we will probably be hanging out a lot. So if you see us running around, just say hi. Say hi. How much you like this channel, or how crappy we are. On Saturday, we're going to play a King of Tokyo tournament,
which is going to be hilarious.
The Yellow Boot.
I've played it once a couple of years ago, so
it's just a fun game and a fun experience, I think.
But it's from Richard Garfield. Is that the one that made Magic the Gathering? Oh, okay.
Damn. Yes, many good games.
Okay.
So because I'm a visitor now, I can do these crazy things. So I'll be walking around in awe again, looking at the 6 halls filled with board games.
Yeah,
you're going to be so overwhelmed.
I am. I know that already.
So if you have any advice, tips, or even games that you think we should check out,
definitely,
please let us know in the comments below.
Hidden gems.
There is a lot of time, but I think 4 days will be over before we know it. There is so much to see.
Yeah.
So much to check out, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I think it's going to be the biggest one so far. As Gen Con was this year, Gen Con was also the biggest one.
Yeah.
After being a little bit slower with the COVID and all that stuff, but I think it's just going to be craziness again this year. So,
gonna mentally prepare for that one.
Yeah, be well rested and eat well.
Eat well and drink a lot of water.
Yeah, stay hydrated.
It's like doing a marathon.
Bring deodorant, folks. All that stuff. Yeah, it's the small tips that I can give. But anyway, if you're going, enjoy. If you're not going, well,
we'll maybe do a
we might do a post Essen or post Spiel video as well, and check out what we did try and buy. So try and buy. That's what we're going to do, and definitely. Of course also enjoy the awesome people there. Always great to see friends again, to meet them again, and there are some things that we will do as well. We have our yearly or annual dinner at Pfefferkorn, where we eat steak with a bunch of people that we know, and that's always awesome. So yeah, it's going to be great, exhausting. Fun, and it will be over
just
before
exciting. It's going to be very
before
exciting.
It started. So
definitely,
that is going to be it for this time. So I hope you got something out of this, and thank you for watching, and I hope to see you either at Spiel or next time in the next video here.
Definitely,
maybe with Anja. Who knows? Maybe she might be coming back for more.
Who knows?
All right, see you all next time. See you in the future.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.